All right, welcome everyone. I'm really excited to start off our virtual internship fair for 2023. We've got a full list of organizations with us today, and I'm going to share the list in the chat so that everyone will know the order that we're going to go with today. That list also has a link to each one of the agencies so that you can get a little bit more information about each of them. I also enabled the Q&A feature, which I've never used before, I will admit. So I put that up and I'll be checking on it throughout so we can make sure that we answer questions. If students have questions about any particular agency, we can make sure we're answering those questions. But I just want to make sure we get through the presentations. The setup will be, people will get to talk about who they are, what their agency does, and also what a student would be able to do as an intern with them, and what students who are currently interning with them have done or are currently doing. There are some students with some of these agencies right now, which is really exciting. So we may get to hear about that a little bit today. But overall, it would just be great to hear from them because we love having them here to talk with us. It's a great opportunity for students to hear about some great things they could be doing just outside of the world of Merrimack College. So I'm going to stop talking so that we can get right to it. And we're going to start first with Lisa from Pettengill House.
Hey, Katie, thank you. I'm just going to try to share my screen here. Hold on one moment. Okay. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Hi. So my name is Lisa Prendergast. I'm the Director of Case Management at the Pettengill House. So in my role here, I supervise all the social workers and the social work programs. Prior to, I've been the Director of Case Management now for just about 2.5 years. And then prior to that, I was the lead social worker in our senior support department here at the Pettengill House. So I've been here for just about 12 years or so. Who we are, the Pettengill House is a nonprofit local community social service agency. We think of ourselves as community-based social workers. It was founded in 1994 by a group of concerned citizens from the Salisbury area. There was a lot of transitional families and homelessness, and some educators and social workers and church leaders got together and responded to the need in the community. And I'd like to say we've grown over the past almost 30 years now and have expanded, and we continue to adapt and really try to meet the needs of the community. So always responding to that. We serve 9 communities and towns. It's Amesbury, Byfield, Groveland, Merrimack, Newbury, Newburyport, Rowley, Salisbury, and West Newbury. And the way we kind of came up with that, one of our flagship programs is our School Linked Service Program. And our catchment area is based on school districts. So it's Amesbury School District, Newburyport, Pentucket, and Triton. So those are all the communities that we work with. While the School Linked Service was our kind of flagship program, we have several other programs, and we now serve individuals and children of all ages from birth to older adults. Our mission, I'll just read that, is to support and empower individuals, children, and families by providing education, comprehensive case management, and basic needs, and by coordinating community supports that contribute to individual and family stabilization, personal growth, and development. We have 2 offices. Our original office is the building that you can see on 13 Lafayette Road in Salisbury. We all when we first started, we all worked out of that in downtown Salisbury, but we have expanded and grown over the last several years. So that is the site of our food pantry. We do have a operating food pantry, hours on Tuesday and Wednesday. We do staff our food pantry days with social workers, because often we find this as the first point of entry for families and individuals who may be struggling. So if someone comes in for a basic need of food, we're able to kind of a social worker is able to do a further assessment and see what other needs there may be. So that is our original site and still in existence today. And then our second office is the office at the Carriage Mills building in Water Street, and that houses all of our social workers and special programs. The social work departments that we have here and that you would be able to participate in as an intern, we have 4 of them. They're the Children and Families Department, adults age 18 to 59. So we do a lot of work with disabled adults, but also like homeless individuals. We have an older adult department, which is ages 60 and over. And then we have our best team, which is just about a year old, and that's our behavioral event and substance support team. We have contracts with the police and all the 9 cities and towns that we serve through Essex County Outreach. And we do respond to any mental health and substance-related event with our best social workers. And as you can imagine, that has been growing and quite busy over the past several years. So we do have a lot of departments that you could work within. We have an intern now here, psychology intern from Merrimack, and she's believes her interest is in children and families, but she wanted to really get experience in all the different departments, and we can offer that here. So I think that's one, one key aspect. If you're kind of like not sure what population you want to work with, we work with everybody, and you can get a taste of that and see which one may be of most interest to you. Or if you do have a concentration with a certain population, you can certainly have your full internship in that department. We are all master's level social workers here. So we're all, able to supervise. So those are the 4 key kind of departments. We offer an array of services though. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these assessments and interventions, of course, basic needs assistance. What we really focus on here, and the hallmark of our program, is the comprehensive case management. So we work with a lot of partners in the community, as well as things that we do on our own. We can do SNAP applications here. We're all certified application counselors for Mass Health. We have fuel assistance applications. We have partners in mental health where we refer out. We work with each of the school departments for McKinney-Vento homeless student and family support. We offer a lot of the tier 2 services. We have a food pantry, as I mentioned. Our intern now, she took a shift in the food pantry just to get an idea of what that looks like, because often we see families and individuals who are really just needing some of those basic needs. So really a wide array of programs. She also helped and assisted with our Operation Backpack program. So every August, she actually started the internship a little bit early because she wanted to get some experience with that. So we provided over 250 backpacks to kids in need in our communities, and they get to come in and kind of shop and pick out their backpacks and stuff it with notebooks and markers. So that was one area that the intern helped with. And while they were here, she was able to kind of do an assessment. Are there any other needs that you're struggling with? So she's already had kind of direct client interactions. She does a lot of shadowing of the other social workers, but she's also helped with some direct client interactions, which has been awesome. These are just some of our stats. We've expanded over the past several years. So you can see we've added probably, I think, 4 more social workers just over this past fiscal year. So the programs are really starting to kind of ramp up, be busy. So there's a lot of work to be done. In our fiscal year 22, we provided just over 8,000 social work interventions. And then this past fiscal year it was 20,000. So, but we have like doubled, almost doubled our staffing, which accounts for that. But just wanted, you could also see we've provided a lot of family stabilization and financial assistance and rent and utilities, recreation, and that amount last year was $320,000 that we provided to our families and individuals. This is a testimonial from one of our former interns who was a psychology intern through Endicott College. But I thought this was really nice to share. She had wrote that as an undergrad intern at Pettengill House, it provided an opportunity to experience working with diverse age groups and observe an array of services. We have a very wide scope of services here, including basic needs, public assistance applications, referring clients to mental health resources, and education advocacy. These experiences introduced me to the assessment process, safety procedures, ethics, and overall understanding of social work values and the barriers our clients face today. The team collaboration at Pettengill House ensures a supportive environment to both interns and staff. So Anna started with us as an intern for her undergraduate, and she's been employed here now for 6 years. So she really has, I thought that was a great testimonial, and certainly would hope that that you would have similar experiences if you joined our team as an intern here. So thank you so much for your time. And certainly if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Excellent. I love hearing that you had someone that was an intern that's continuing there and has been there for so long. That tells you something. So I love that. That's really
And we had a master's level intern from Salem State who is also employed here. So yeah.
I love that. Well, I do let students know that a lot of the times they can, they have to look at it as potential for job opportunities. So it's really nice to get involved in the organizations now. So that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Students do have questions. Definitely use this. The Q&A feature is right at the bottom. You can put your questions in there and I'll make sure to check as people are presenting. All right, so next we have Carly from Coaching for Change.
Hi, everybody. As she said, my name is Carly, but I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'll talk through most of it, but just a nice little visual. I am having a little bit of computer issues today here in the office, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And if you guys can't see anything, just shout out and I can zoom in. Anyway, I am Carly. I run our recruiting department. I'm the recruitment manager here at C4C. Before I dive in on who we are and what we do, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. As a undergrad at Bridgewater State a few years ago now, I actually did this internship program, absolutely loved it, went on to teach for about 5-6 years, and then recently rejoin the team on the recruitment department. So it's kind of very full circle, really enjoy what we do. And it's a testimony that I came back, just like we said in the last one. So absolutely. But what we are an education and mentorship based nonprofit. So what that means is we focus on funneling resources into low-income schools and communities in the area. Right now we're in 11 different districts, but how we aim to get our goals is through our college mentors. So this is a paid college internship program, and how Coaching for Change fully runs. This is our only mission, our only program, and it's through our college mentors. So our college mentors on a day-to-day basis will be working on social emotional skills, academic skills, and some of our sites physical activity as well. All right, so kind of just went over this a little bit, but a nice little visual. I can send this video too if anybody's interested in getting more of like a live action of what we do. But we really focus on just being a positive role model for those kids, being able to not only learn leadership skills for yourself, but being able to show those kids like, hey, I grew up just like you, maybe I look like you or sound like you, and I was able to go to college and follow this path, and you can do the same. In a lot of our sites, we do take our kids to college campuses and get to expose them to higher education, which most are encouraged to do or don't have the opportunity to do. So it's a very nice full circle moment for them to see their mentor in their school, but then also get to go to school with them for a day. So that is a super exciting part of our program. On the ground, more day-to-day stuff, you'll be working in small group activities, leading leading certain lessons inside and outside the classroom. But you're really there not to be the disciplinarian or their teacher, but not to be their friend. You're that middle ground, you're their mentor, really just to be there for someone to connect with and support. And through this, we've seen behavior rates go down, which is fantastic. Graduation rates go up, grades go up, and most importantly, attendance has skyrocketed through our mentors being there. Like I said, there are 11 different sites. We have throughout Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Within those sites, we have many different schools. Those are just like the big pinpoint locations, but feel free to ask any questions on that. Along with our college mentor program, we also have another kind of facet of that, which is our college campus ambassador. So what that is, it's just really showing C4C in a positive light. That's also a paid position, and that's strictly working on your campus on your own flexible hours. So with both positions, we have fall, spring, and summer options. We are semester by semester based and very flexible. Some programs strictly run in school, some strictly after school. It's going to look different at every location, specifically because after COVID, schools just drastically needed different things, right? Each school has a very different landscape and need different resources, materials, things like that. So we try to meet every school where they're at. So every location is going to look a little bit different on what their mentors are doing. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm going to go over a little cold here. Anyway, so one more important thing I really want to stress, not only do you become a mentor with us, but you get your own mentor. We call it our coach. So that is usually either a teacher, school social worker, or a psychologist at the school. And you get to work one-on-one with them every single day. It's a great way to kind of workshop, is this the career for me? Kind of get your own mentor through that way and just kind of start getting your foot into a door of career, whether it may be education, social work, anything like that. It's just kind of a great way to start networking and figuring out what you really want to do. And we pay you to do it, which is even better. So just a little visual here of when we took kids to Stonehill. And then lastly, this kind of just shows what we call our mentor path from all the way from recruitment till you graduate. And you can see from recruitment to orientation, where you leave us with many certificates and many trainings from youth mental health, mentoring 101, leadership training, CPI, which is verbal and de-escalation training, and DEI as well. So you're leaving us with a whole folder full of things ready to move into the workforce. And then after that, you continue mentoring in your placement. And then we start with networking. So we are going to connect you with as many people as possible. We do a lot of events where you get to, meet professionals in the field and kind of get to shadow them. So not only are you really making a huge impact on the students you're working with in those communities, but you get a lot for yourself as well. So I know that was a lot, so I can pause for questions if anyone has any questions. And if not, feel free to send me a message as well. I'll leave this here if anybody's curious. I know our link the website link is on that doc she shared earlier, but you can also scan that QR code as well.
I think we have at least one, maybe two. I might be forgetting that there might be two. I know we have at least one student currently working with Coaching for Change this semester.
Yes, we have several from Merrimack right now. Yeah.
I know there's one.
I think we got like 6 or 7 right now. Merrimack kid.
One's definitely in psych. I'm not sure if I don't think the other ones are, but I know one's definitely within the psych department. So it's exciting. Great. Awesome. All right. Well, I will keep checking on the questions. If people do have them, definitely put them in there. But if not, we can keep on going. Next, we've got Caitlin from NuPath.
Hi, I'm just going to share my screen here.
Great.
Okay. All right. So hi, my name is Caitlin Schwager. I am with NuPath, and we are a health and human services organization based in Woburn. It is our mission to make life's journey happier, healthier, and more fulfilling for adults living with disabilities. And as you can see in our little picture here, we do a lot of community outings. And so here are some of our folks visiting Gillette Stadium a few years ago. We offer day programs, residential services, and also clinical services. And I have a feeling that some of our clinical services may be most interest to all of you. So we offer two types of internships. The first one is the intro experience, and this is a shorter internship, 10 to 12 hours a week, and it's really an introduction to working with people with disabilities, particularly intellectual and developmental disabilities, and especially autism and behavioral disorders. So in this experience, you will shadow a direct support professional. We call them DSPs, and you'll get a sense of all of our program participants, have a chance to meet them, interview them, get to know them, understand some of the skills that they are learning. A lot of our work is to help our program participants learn skills to live as independently as possible. And you will participate in leading and preparing activities in the day program. The second internship is a broader experience. We call it the ABA, Applied Behavior Analyst Experience. And this is a really great opportunity if you are seriously looking into a career in working with people with autism and behavioral disorders. This could really help you determine if you have an interest in pursuing a master's degree to become a BCBA, a board certified behavior analyst. It's about 20 to 40 hours a week. This opportunity is paid, and you'll do a lot of hands-on learning while you help provide direct care to our clients with autism and behavioral needs. This is more of a curriculum-based internship. Our assistant director of clinical services actually is an instructor at UMass Lowell. So he really understands the needs of students and what they are looking to receive from an internship. So he's put together, based on his own experience doing internships during his education and all of the students that he's worked with over the years, he's put together a curriculum. So you'll learn to help implement behavior plans, and you'll even get an opportunity to write your own mock behavior plan. And part of the curriculum is also learning documentation and how to write like a clinician. And this is a really valuable skill that you will carry with you throughout your whole career. We also have some part-time jobs available during the summer or during the school year, which is a really great way to gain experience and get paid while you're in school. And these part-time jobs require no previous experience working with adults with disabilities. That's always a bonus, but we will train you. We will provide appropriate supervision. So we have multiple ways to become part of NuPath. And I'm just going to flip to this screen here. I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you are not sure what kind of internship might be right for you, give us a call, shoot me a note, and we can work with you to determine what your interests are, what your needs are, and what the best fit may be. So we're able to customize and individualize internship experiences based on the needs of the student. And I'd like to just highlight that we have a long track record of people starting with us at entry level and then staying and growing. So we have program directors, managers, coordinators who started as a DSP or started as a summer job or a student internship, and all of a sudden it's 8 years later, 10 years later, and they're still with us. So we really encourage job growth and career growth. We have some tuition reimbursement. So if you join us on staff and you're interested in pursuing your career, we want to support you in that. And the last thing I'd like to leave you with is that we spend a lot of time and effort in creating a really warm, welcoming, supportive, friendly environment of belonging, not only for our program participants, but also for our staff. And so I may be biased, but I think NuPath is a really nice place to be. There's a real community atmosphere. We do a lot of community events. We have our own staff events, barbecues, lunches. The residences have events. A lot of our day programming is very activity based and as I said before, community outings. So I think we're a really fun place to be. We're always looking for folks who are interested in the field of human services, getting to know the field of human services, even if you've never had any experience with us before. We're happy to bring you in and teach you what you'd like to know. And also, I will be on campus on Wednesday at the Careers for Common Good career fair. So please drop by and say hello, and I'll have some handouts. And more importantly, I'll have some Halloween candy. So thank you so much. And please feel free to reach out. I'd love to chat. And maybe I'll see you on Wednesday.
So thank you so much. Great. Thank you. And thank you for reminding me to plug that as well for students to drop by, because that's another opportunity to talk to some organizations and also practice little networking skills while you're at it too. All right. Next, we've got Allison from Beth Israel Lahey Health Behavioral Services. I have to remember the whole
the whole title. Yes. Yes. Hi, I'm Allison Coburn Kitsorin. I'm my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the student internship training manager here at Beth Israel Lahey Health Behavioral Services. So I'm gonna just get this in presentation mode. I don't know why it's going all the way to the end. Here we go. All right. And I think that I'll probably be here till the end, but I do have to hop off around 1:20. So it's great if questions come up that to give, get them in now so I can answer them during my presentation, just in case we go all the way to 1:30. I don't want to miss out on any questions. But yes, for the purposes of saving times, I'll refer to it as BILHBS. Important distinction. So all the internships I'm presenting on are a part of the behavioral services within Beth Israel Lahey Health. Beth Israel Lahey Health is a huge organization, and they do distinguish between health and behavioral services. So I'll take you through the behavioral service lens, and then just know that once you are a part of this team, it is considered kind of, a lot of people flow back and forth between the organizations. So because you are, an internal candidate once you start working for one of the entities. So if it's something where you started in behavioral and then moved into, the Burlington Hospital or up in Gloucester or one of our affiliated hospitals, that you've got that internal kind of stance as a hire. But so just to touch off, right from the website, just that we create healthier communities, one person at a time, through seamless care and groundbreaking science driven by excellence, innovation, and equity. So that's just a little bit about what we do here. So in behavioral services, our internship placements are one of several sites that are in behavioral services, and they're outlined in blue. That being said, clients in all of these cities within these areas are serviced by our services. So a lot of times you'll see clients, if it's a community-based service, the outreach will go out to these other cities. If it's a clinic, they come to you. So really the whole North Shore Merrimack Valley is serviced by behavioral services. And then in the rest of the state, there are some what's called collaborative care, where they embed a behavioral services clinician in the primary care offices. So there are even positions that are further out in the state that are considered a part of behavioral services, but have their own they work out of a doctor's office or something like that. So I'm going to go over the divisions where our interns are based out of. The two divisions that I'm not going to cover are the one I just mentioned, collaborative care, which is the embedded PCP offices, because we don't have internships with them. And then we've sort of had a split where we've got Lawrence-based emergency services, which I'll talk about, where we do have options. And then there's our emergency services clinicians that work right out of the hospitals. They're embedded in our hospitals in other areas. And those ones right now we don't have internships for, but everything else. So the first division I'm going to talk about is our ambulatory and children behavioral health services, or I think it's also now called ambulatory and community services. So I'll focus more obviously on the bachelor's level opportunities, but I like you guys to be able to see the master's level and different jobs, just because I know some of you do go right into your master's, or it's something to keep in mind in the coming years. So the first, which is master's level internships, is out of our outpatient clinics, which exist. There's a pediatric one in Beverly. Haverhill is, which does a mix of outreach and clinic based in Beverly. Haverhill does mainly outreach, all outreach therapy. Then Salem is more adult focused, adults, also court mandated, and also some substance use programming out of the Salem office. And then Gloucester, which is also dual diagnosing for adults mainly. There's a significant substance use component there, but not for all clients. So at the Community Behavioral Health Center, which some of you may have heard of, the new Community Behavioral Health Centers in Massachusetts, they're essentially a behavioral health urgent care, and every catchment area in Massachusetts has one. BILHBS has the contract for the Lawrence Community Behavioral Health Center. And so out of those, you've got an emergency service mobile crisis team to respond to behavioral health psychiatric emergencies. You have the outpatient program there as well for therapy and meta management. And then you also have the CCS, which is community crisis stabilization. So that is where our bachelor's level interns are. So that is a 6-bed open unit. So it's not hospital level of care, but it is when an adult is having a psychiatric crisis and they need some support, maybe to be outside of their living environment for a few days to up to a week, but they're not quite at the level where they need inpatient level of care, they can go to the CCS. So there's, 6 adults at any time, men or women, or transgender. And there's interns there would be involved in a variety of milieu therapy. Group therapy is very common there. I think it's not required, but the clients some of them, the clients that would like to, which most of them do, a lot of times they're coming there to get some additional support, would participate in any of the various groups throughout the day. And so as an intern there, you get an opportunity to really support with leading these groups, prepping for the treatment that with the master's level clinician that can support you with that. You're also going to be working with a lot of nurses, because the clients do receive medication while they're there. And there are multidisciplinary clinical rounds that happen every single day. So you're getting to talk with a lot of different behavioral health backgrounds to discuss cases and how you can best support clients. So it's a really great opportunity to get a lot of face time with clients, and a variety of clients, because they're really filtering out every week. So a wide variety, dual diagnosing. So you'll get experience with a lot of different mental health diagnoses there. The next one on here is the Community Service Agency. Right now, they are only taking master's level interns, so I won't spend too much time on that, but that is an intensive care coordinator is a great thing to consider going into the field. They do actually have undergraduate once you've graduated. So that is a job you can consider moving into. An intensive care coordinator is a coordinator for children up to age 21 and their families, and the child just has to be experiencing a DSM-5 diagnosable disorder, something that's impeding on their success in school, home, or their community. And so the care coordinator's role is to really support the child and their families to come up with their own treatment plan and make sure that they're supporting them check off pieces of that treatment plan and then get the connection with the resources in the community that they may not be aware of. One of a great bachelor's level opportunity on here is the next one, the individual family flexible support services. They're mainly out of Beverly, but they also service Haverhill clients and clients in those two regions, I should say, but their main office is in Beverly. And what they provide is they are a grant funded program that the Department of Mental Health funds for youth who are either involved in Department of Mental Health Services or involved in one of the community service agencies. So the children and adolescents who are participating in they call it the Flex program for short. So the children that are participating in Flex are really struggling to socialize in the regular offerings of mainstream, like club sports, maybe even in school settings. And Flex gives them the opportunity to have a therapeutic environment to explore some of their interests. So the group therapy might be anything from a cooking group to sports to, I know some of the children requested I think it was called the Treat Yourself group, but it was a lot about makeup and different styles of makeup because that was what the kids wanted. So they always are kind of choosing their offerings based on what their children and adolescents want, and providing group therapy. So it is a therapeutic approach to any of these topics, and the kids love this. This is often one of the favorite parts of their week. Some of them sign up for multiple so that they can be in their Flex services most of the week. They do a great job, and they're small so that it is a safe environment to deal with things as they come up. And then all the children in Flex have an outside provider somewhere. So whether that's a DMH caseworker or an intensive care coordinator or a therapist, they do have someone. So if there are some it's encouraged that the group leaders are collaborating with those outside providers so that they can tell about the progress that they're seeing. And also if there's some, safety concerns that are coming up in group, to make sure that the family and the providers are aware of that, so that in the outside environment, the child's being better supported. So that's a really great opportunity. People tend to love this internship. Student assistance program, right now only taking masters, but that is an embedded clinician at the schools to provide some therapeutic support in the schools. Team 14 is a substance use model for adolescents. It is either home-based or it's a group therapy model at the office. Let me move in. Okay, so now we get a lot of our bachelor's and certificate level offerings. So a lot of what you guys can take advantage of in our addictions and youth education services. So addictions is a great place to work. I always think one of my regrets in the field is that I didn't do more substance use training and placements. And I'm really happy with where my career has led, but I do think there is something to be said for working in addictions, because it's in a lot of the work you do in mental health. It does come up most of the time. Even if you take a place that doesn't specialize in that, you're probably going to be asked to work with people with substance use needs. So we have plenty of offerings out of Tewksbury and Danvers. We have the detox, which is really a short term where they stay there to what it sounds like, to detox and also get ready for kind of their next level of treatment. So once they're an intern there would be working with the case managers, the recovery specialists, the nurses, and they would be supporting in many levels of milieu therapy. They'd be helping with the intakes, so intaking clients, really doing those assessments with the master's level staff, but they would be a part of that. they'd be helping with those short-term treatment plans, and they would be helping for discharge planning. So referrals that need to be in place, the interns would be a part of that. So you'd really learn a lot about how the overall system works for people who are struggling with addictions and kind of what is the follow-up available to them. And one of those follow-up options is the CSS, the Clinical Stabilization Services. So a lot of times people go right from detox into CSS. And so that is a little bit longer term where they can live at that program, I believe, around more, it depends client to client, but sometimes it could be as little as 4 months or more around the 9-month range. So it really depends on the client and what they need and how they're progressing. And again, that's called the case manager role, would be kind of the intern's focus. So they're helping with the intakes. There is more group therapy options with the CSS because typically people are in a more of a stable place after detox to be able to be doing those kind of treatment models. And then like with the others, a variety of clinical case review opportunities to make sure that the nurses are aware of changes you're seeing and you're aware of medication changes that may be affecting things. So you're really getting to see a lot of how the interaction with mental health, substance use, and different variety of treatment options. Similarly to this, it's kind of the next level would be the Lynn Ryan House. So this is what's commonly referred to as like a sober home for men and women. They do have 40 beds. They're right across the street from each other. So the women are on one side of the street and the men are on the other. The intern would be working on both sides with the support of the clinical supervisor and doing a lot of case management support. Again, there's a lot of milieu therapy going on. There's also a lot of focus around supporting clients to be ready for when it's time to move out of the Ryan House. So supporting them with job acquisition and other outpatient treatment, because at this point they are going to need their outpatient therapy if that's where they want to go with that, and then maybe helping get awareness about 12-step programs in the area, making sure that they're attending treatment they need to be able to maintain sobriety and recovery once they leave the Ryan House. So that's a really great internship. And I know with all of these that I've mentioned, typically when the interns have enjoyed these, and when they apply, they tend to stay on. So there's always case manager roles open, which is a bachelor's level. And a lot of the interns who have been in these services, I believe we had a Merrimack in Tewksbury over the summer, and she loved it. So it's definitely encouraged that students stay on after graduation if they can, if it's a good fit. And then the last piece here is the transitional support services, which is out of Tewksbury and Lynn. It's similar to CSS, but that is like it sounds, transitioning out of detox and before going back into the community. That's kind of a stop for clients to take advantage of. The outpatient methadone clinics are embedded. One is embedded in Danvers and the other in Gloucester. We don't currently have internship opportunities there for bachelor's level. But you are going to be working with, if you were in Danvers, for example, you would be working closely with the outpatient methadone clinic, because often the clients that are in those treatment are going to get, if they have obviously opioid addiction, that they would be going right to the methadone clinic right there. So you'd be doing a variety of work with that clinic and collateral contact. Another great program that's one of my personal favorites is the Heart House. They're in Lowell. That is similar to Ryan House, where it is a sober home, but it is focused on women and their children. So to be able to get into Heart House, you have to either have custody of your children, be pregnant, or be within 6 months of reunification with your children, and DCF supports the moms with that to get a letter basically to the program. So women come here when they're having substance use needs where they need support with their recovery, but they get to live with their children there. And there's no limit to how many children, they just can't be 18 or older. And so the neat thing about this is while you're learning a lot about addiction supports available and helping the moms get set up with their outpatient treatment, you're also oftentimes at providing family support for the families and getting the kids and the family set up with their services. Because a lot of times there is trauma related to the relationship with the mom and the kids. And so the kids may also be in need of services. And so in this role, you learn a whole lot about adult services, adult addiction services, and then child and family services. And you're an integral part of that. And then the last one here, which is master's right now, is our Solstice School. It is an alternative school placement for kids with serious behavioral health needs that weren't successful in their public school district. It is a day school, so they don't live at the school, they go home, but it's out of Rowley. Okay, and I'll wrap it up. I know I'm talking a while. So I mentioned the Community Behavioral Health Center in Lawrence. Oh, I think I already went over this, but I just I was off a little bit on my slide. So I think I talked about community crisis stabilization already out of the Community Behavioral Health Center, which is that 6-bed unit for people who aren't quite at the level of inpatient care. And then outside of that, which right now is just master's level, but great to know about, is the emergency services and mobile crisis intervention. A lot of times you're getting clients in CS that are coming right from emergency services. So you'll, as an intern in the CECS role, you'll be doing a lot of collateral contact with emergency services because they're the ones who are able to make the recommendation for and refer clients into CCS. So any questions on roles before I just briefly touch on application process? No, nothing came through yet. Okay, great. So if you go on our website, the only confusing thing is there is a bilh.org, but that's not going to easily route you. You've got to put in bilhbehavioral.org to get to our stuff. So if for some reason you forgot this whole title, it's bilhbehavioral.org. You click on the careers page and you'll see apply for internships as like a tab. So you can scroll down to the internship available opportunities, and there are PDFs for each undergraduate and for graduate opportunities. For next school year, or I should say for 2024, because right now I've got posted for the end for like until May opportunities, but for things that are opening up post May, so summer opportunities, I'll probably have the new listings up in December. So if you're looking now, you'll see it's very scarce what I have. If you kind of want to get the ball rolling and talk to me, that's fine. We can do that. But with the official kind of interviewing wouldn't start until like end of December, early January. But from there, you can also just apply. So my name's listed all over that website. So if for some reason you didn't want to just apply, weren't sure what you're looking for, you can certainly email me first and then apply after the fact. I'm happy to be a support. So once you submit, basically you'll receive an email from me just saying, you know, we've either one of two things, like we've got your application and we've sent it off to, you know, the managers. Usually I go with the first choice that you put down. If I go with second or third, it's because something at that site, either they filled their position or that, you know, potentially a supervisor has left, and therefore I went with the second choice while they didn't have the availability. And then those managers reach right out to you to set up an interview. So I leave it with the managers to interview, but I am a liaison for that. And once the manager decides they want to move forward, I let you know. You can accept or decline. And then if it's accepted, I sort of support with making sure that any of the onboarding needs get done and that your orientation is set up. So it's a pretty smooth process. I'm very quick with responding to applications. Usually you'll hear from me within a couple days. And so why us? Other reasons to join our team is We are one of the largest providers in Massachusetts for behavioral services and the second largest health provider in the state. And so you have access to a wide variety of programs and networking opportunities. Definitely a great place to grow in your career. This is the one company I've worked for, but I've been in 3 different roles so far in the just about 8 years I've been working. And so I think it's a great place to grow, hone in on your skills, and figure out what you like. Here are just some of the opportunities that we provide, like clinical trainings, supervision. We take that very seriously. So you'll always have your weekly supervision, and you'll also have access to other types of clinical support in group facilitated. So multiple supervisors or various disciplines coming together to talk about cases and how to best support clients. And it's, like I said before, a great way to develop your career. And this year, for the first year, we have started intern cohort. It's a weekly offering just for our interns. I host it, but basically it's a rotation of different leaders in the organization. So each week it's someone new that's either training on a topic that they've have some expertise in related to behavioral health care, or an intern is presenting on their own case, and you have a leader and myself and other interns to talk through that. So that is weekly. It's not mandatory because there's no way to get one time slot that works for everyone. But the nice piece is it's virtual. So if for some reason it's not an intern day, but you're like, I am free on campus, you're welcome to join. Just needs to be a private space if we're talking about clients. And you do get that counted towards your hours. So that can count as a 1 hour thing each week. So thank you. Sorry for droning on, but this is my contact information. If you have any questions that come up, please don't hesitate to email me. Thanks so much for your time.
Great, thank you so much. And I will say, one of my students this summer was at TSS in Tewksbury, and she loved it. And it was a population she never thought about working with, didn't expect to really want to work with, but she really loved it, and she felt really connected to the place. She felt really supported. And she came and spoke to a class of mine of students who haven't really done internships yet and are starting to think about it, and talked about how much she liked it and how surprised she was that she liked it so much. So it was great. So definitely something to think about for students that are unsure. She pushed herself, and it was a good challenge. So thank you. All right. Next up, we've got Narissa from Eliot Community Human Services.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Narissa McCormick, and I am the Director of Clinical Development here at Eliot. We have some similar services to the last presentation, so I'll try to do a really quick overview of what our services are and what we offer for bachelor level interns. I'm going to try to share my screen here. All right, so really quickly, we have sort of, whenever I'm meeting with an intern, I typically try to have a conversation with interns. Our process for application is a little bit different, although you can see some of our postings online. I typically screen interns ourselves. We're sort of, we've always had interns as an organization, but they've been in pockets. So over the past year to year and a half, we've really started to streamline this process. So one of the things that I do is I screen students, and some of the things I typically ask is sort of these categories, like, okay, do you think you might be interested in working with adults? Do you think you might be interested in working with children? Do you think you might be interested in doing sort of care coordination? We have a multitude of, again, very similar services in some ways under each category. So we have some of our DMH contracted programs are adult community clinical services, our PACT teams, clubhouses, vocational day services, and respite programs are all DMH funded. All of these programs take on both bachelor level and master level interns. The ACCS and respite programs have residential placements in there, and I always encourage people that that's a great place to just get exposure to the population, as well as sort of to how things kind of all go together, right? Like, how does it work with their psychiatric care and their doctors and sort of like some crisis management, and but there's a lot of things happening in a residential setting. One of the other reasons why I think this is often a popular setting for particularly for bachelor level, not to say that we don't place master level students in residential placements, is that you're not alone. You sort of are constantly working with the team. None of our interns are ever alone, but you're not doing necessarily one-on-one work all the time. You're really sort of operating as a team, and you get an opportunity to see people sort of where they live and meet them where they're at. Our PACT teams are a little bit more intense. Those people are all living in the community. We have had a bachelor level in a PACT team. The person was a case coordinator and just sort of shadowed some other people. But all of these are multidisciplinary teams. So there's case managers and social workers and doctors on each of these teams. Our clubhouse programs are another great bachelor level placement, I think, because it gives you exposure to a large group of people with varying different diagnoses. Our behavioral health clinics, emergency services, crisis stabilization, some of those are those CBHC programs, so that like urgent care programs, and then we also have traditional outpatient settings. Right now, we do not have bachelor level placement at our traditional outpatient settings, although in the urgent care, we could take on a bachelor level in our urgent care setting. And then we have a small developmental disability and brain injury program, which is another residential programming. So we have 14 residential programs. We have 5 that are designed for people who have either ASD or IDD, and then 5 for people with a brain injury, as well as day programming. Our homeless services are in a number of locations. Most of them are in Boston. We've been involved in projects like helping to house the people at Mass and Cass, recent family shelters, tenancy preservation, a lot of boots on the ground. We're really a grassroots organization, and that's sort of how our organization started, and a lot of the work that we do is focused that way. I think people that have come to Eliot have found, sort of regardless of what position anybody's in, everybody sort of has some involvement. And so our homeless services are really grassroots. You would be out in the community most of the time doing homeless services. Our youth and family services, again, and I 100% admittedly, much like Allison, I sort of feel like I've grown up in this organization. So I've been here for, so like 16 or 17 years. And most of my experience has been with adult mental health. So I feel a bit more comfortable talking about those services that I do. Like, I'm like, oh, we have children's services. So I'm learning them. If you have questions and I don't know the answer, I will find out. Again, I would say that's another benefit to Eliot, is that there's room to sort of explore laterally, and not just like climbing the ladder, but sort of like to explore from a career perspective, to explore laterally, I think is always refreshing. So we do have early intervention and family centers this is in the Malden and Wakefield areas, whereas our adult services tend to be pretty much from Gloucester to Acton. But this particular children's services are in Malden and Wakefield. And then I don't know if you have any online students that may be in the Western Massachusetts area, but we do also have children, youth, and behavioral services in Holyoke. So our residential programs for our kids division are juvenile justice residents, and we have taken interns there in the past. If somebody's really, really interested in that, we should probably talk more offline. The onboarding process for those programs is sort of dictated by the state, and it's pretty robust. So, but we have been able to navigate that if somebody is really interested in that. We do have a suicide prevention program called the NAN Project, and they are working with people in the schools and do a ton of education, particularly junior high to high school, but even younger, around suicide prevention. And then lastly, just really quickly, our care coordination. I say it quickly, but it's actually a really large portion of what we do, is our behavioral health community partnership program. So they do a lot of case management, essentially. If there was someone that's interested in a bachelor level intern, we probably could look to place you in one of these programs, but it would give you sort of a case management perspective versus a hands-on perspective, although you are meeting with clients fairly regularly. In terms of numbers of interns that we take on, the past year we took on about 65 interns, and we ended up hiring 49 of them. And those were for bachelor and master level interns. So, I'm sorry, I don't remember who the first person was, but we really do try to not only give people a clinical experience, but exposure to our training department, exposure to clinical guidance outside of your program. We have a number of ongoing clinical consultations that happen, internal risk meetings, specialized training, specialized consultants that we want interns to be involved in, even if it's not part of particularly your case or your program, to give people ongoing exposure. And so we do try to do sort of career pathway as part of the internship, and hiring on people. We really want to make it possible for people to work and go to school, and I think that's a really tall order for a lot of people. And we really want to partner with students in trying to figure out ways to have that happen. Right now we do not have any paid internships, although we may have some master level paid internships coming in the fall. So more to come on that. We do have a pretty high number of people that internally, we have 10 to 12 people internally that are using either a connection within Eliot or some portion of their job as part of their internship. And I think that can sometimes be like sort of a negotiation between the school and us, and we have to like tease those things out. But we are, a really flexible organization that believes in trying to make it possible for people to do a lot of things all at the same time. Really quickly, our application process, like I said, I hold screenings a couple times a year. So I typically hold screenings in the spring for FY24. The academic world is always like a year ahead, so I just have to stop myself and think. So for the fall of 2024, I'll be holding screening workshops usually I do them early March. And so, reach out to me via email. We do not have a deadline. So I will say that people have reached out sort of even into their internships where somebody gets into a situation where a supervisor leaves. and they don't have the supervision, or it's not the right fit, or the placement can no longer commit for whatever reason. So we're open to sort of an open application process throughout the year. So just to keep that in mind for people as well.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I think, sorry, we appreciate flexibility, and also it's the understanding of trying to fit it all in, because that's the challenge for students, is making it all work with school and a potential other job and doing the internship, and knowing it's hard to balance it all, but everything's important at the same time. So we appreciate when places understand that. So thank you.
And you have my contact. I do have to hop into another meeting, but please feel free to share. If people have questions, I'm happy to set up times to meet with people outside of this as well.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. Great. Next, we have Andrew from Cedardale Health and Fitness.
Awesome. Thank you. My name is, excuse me, Andrew Gunberg. I'm the executive director here at Cedardale Health and Fitness. We're a little bit different than some of the other speakers today. So to share my screen with you, but basically I'll give you a rundown of who we are. We just celebrate our 52nd year of business. We're a multi-purpose health and fitness facility with tennis, racquetball, basketball, all sorts of sport courts, as well as different programs. So I'm going to give you a little rundown about who we are, what we offer our members, but also just to the greater Haverhill community as well. Again, my name is Andrew Gunberg, the executive director here at Cedardale. Like I said, we've celebrated 52 years of business this past year. Unfortunately, back in 2017, March of 2017, we had a tragic fire, which basically took the entire building down all the way to the ground. So we were closed for just over 2 years to rebuild with a brand new state-of-the-art facility, group exercise classes, as well as other programs that we offer. A big differentiator for us versus other health and fitness facilities is all the different wellness initiatives and wellness programs that we offer, again, to our membership, but also to the community. Again, we're big multi-purpose with Group X, basketball, as well as our staff. This is a great photo of a couple of our interns from the past, as well as the rest of our staff at a holiday party we had last year. We're a facility that really to celebrate our staff, because without our staff, we wouldn't be able to service our membership or the community. So we definitely like to celebrate and enjoy ourselves as a community, as a positive culture, whether an intern or a senior manager who's been here for 20, 30 years. So it's definitely something we really focus and pride ourselves on. Now, some of the wellness programs, like I've referenced, is like our healthy living program. We have 2 full-time registered dietitians on site. We've developed our own healthy living program, which helps with weight loss, diabetes, as well as anyone that's at risk of obesity. These programs are able to be funded and paid for through insurance, which is great for the community and for those in need. Another item that we offer is some online courses. This is one of our online nutrition for optimal immunity, which was designed and put together by one of our registered dietitians. Here's another online Fire Up Your Metabolism program. It's an online course that they designed and focused, and these are offered to not just members, but people throughout the country. For example, my mom, who lives in Colorado, she's been doing these classes remotely from out west. One of our other programs is our Better Balance program. It used to be called our fall prevention class, but the name kind of turned some people off. But this is designed for any individual that, maybe struggles with balance or fear of falling. It gives them a lot of different tips and tricks to help prevent that. The reason why I'm covering a lot of these programs is the interns that come in here depend on what their goals are. We're very clear when they come in our facility that we want 3 to 4 specific goals that the interns have that they want to accomplish for their time here, whether it's through Merrimack College, whether it's through another facility or another college. Our goal is for them to really benefit from their experience and their time here, no matter what their goals are. So as part of that, these interns, have weekly meetings with each department head that we have, from marketing to bookkeeping, to our wellness programs, to our sport corp programs, to really get an overall understanding of everything that we offer here from a customer service perspective, but also just from a wellness perspective, to really be able to benefit, not just our members, but also them as interns. like I mentioned with sport courts, pickleball, we do different social events. The mental health aspect is a big focus of ours right now, that we really tied into a lot of different areas, from school groups coming in, to really talk about the benefits of exercise from a mental health perspective, because especially post-COVID, it's a real big, asset is going on. Like I said, we do tennis, swim lessons. Again, the interns get to deep dive into all these different areas of our business to really learn about it and learn about the benefits, physically, emotionally, mentally, not just from adult perspective, but the kids. We offer a wide variety of junior programs, that just gets kids active, gets them focused, gets them moving around. We do focus on beginners. We want people of all ages and levels to really get active. Activity is huge for us and a big focus of ours, to keep people healthy and mentally well-being. Again, nutrition is a big asset that we offer, that we focus on. We do offer different kind of programs like prenatal yoga. We do offer, blood drives, so we're very focused on overall health and physical activity from a mental perspective. We also have junior programs such as a summer camp. So interns here with current one we have now from Merrimack, she's been really focused on the junior side, really focused on working with kids, and modifying and helping them. But again, it's a big focus of ours to always try to grow the community, but also grow, the education for everybody. So in a nutshell, application process is for any intern applicant to reach out to me directly. I do encourage a resume, no matter if you have one put together or not, but I think that's a huge benefit of growth is, just the whole process of applying. So again, interview me to process to me, and then we'll set up an interview and then find out what the goals are and see if it's a good fit for both sides. Last thing I want to do is to bring in an intern, and then not have the experience that they wanted, because again, it's for you guys as interns to grow and learn, in a work-based scenario. So feel free to reach out with any questions you may have, but I really appreciate the time for all of you being on this call today. So thank you, Katie.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that what I love too is identifying the goals and what the students are interested in. And I think that a couple of sites I've talked to, that's such an emphasis, is for students to identify what they want. And so for students that are listening, that's an important thing to know ahead of time, is what is it that you want to get out of the experience, and being able to articulate that and talk about that and understand that so that you can have that conversation. Because I think what's common among everyone that came to talk with you is that's what they want to do for you. That was the most exciting thing when I started this position, is when I started talking to all these different agencies and organizations. Everyone was just excited to help students grow and learn, and they want you to meet your goals. And so I'm so glad you mentioned that, Andrew, because it's so important. As you don't have an agenda, you want to help the students kind of meet their goals. That's your agenda, is to help them reach their goals. So that's the important thing. So I think being able to just understand what those are, and if you don't know what they are, we can figure that out before you go out on an interview, to talk about it. So that's really a good thing to start thinking about now. So thank you. All right. Next we have Kathy from St. Anne's Home.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kathy from St. Anne's Home and School. I am the recruiter here. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, I'm not able to share my screen, and I'm the only person here today. My counterpart couldn't make it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about St. Anne's and the internship that we do offer. So we are a residential treatment facility and a school. We're located in Methuen. We have about 150 kids that live here and about 80 to 100 that go to school here. Now, these kids are here for a wide variety of different reasons. Now, some live here and go to school here. Some live here, but they go to school, Methuen Public Schools. Some live in the community, go to school here. Some are here for the short term for medication management and emergency placements. Some of these kids have been living at St. Anne's for years. Some of these kids have been coming to therapy at St. Anne's for years. Some are involved with DCF and have been in and out of foster homes. And then we have the ones that have been through a lot of abuse and trauma in their lives. But whatever the reason for the child coming to St. Anne's, whether it's living here or for therapy or going to school here, St. Anne's and our staff do a really nice job in giving these kids that extra support that they need. Now, our younger kids live here in our main building, and we have 9 different units. The older kids live in the group homes, and we have about 6 different group homes within the Methuen community. And there's actually a lot of history here at St. Anne's. St. Anne's has been around since 1925. It's almost 100 years old. It started off as an orphanage, but it has evolved throughout the years. We've grown and there's been so many significant changes. We have master's level internships who report to our outpatient therapy department. And then the bachelor's level internships, which are here, that are a part of our residential program. It's a paid internship. We do ask that the interns at least can commit to working about 20 hours a week. And we ask that, because it's so involved, we ask them that they stay through their full semester. What they will be doing is their direct care, working with the children, whether it be grocery shopping, clothes shopping, cooking, cleaning, laundry, making sure, the kids are keeping up with their personal hygiene, eating their 3 meals a day. You'll be helping them with their homework, guiding them, mentoring them. There's a lot of fun things that the child care counselors do with the kids as well, and the interns is our, it basically be working as a child care counselor. A lot of fun activities, no matter what the season is, winter, spring, summer, fall. So you'd be a very important part of their lives. It's very direct care, very hands-on, and it's great exposure. We do have a lot of interns from Merrimack College and the surrounding colleges, and they all seem to have a really good, experience here. Some have come back and they've become employees of ours. So it seems to work out really well. It's great exposure for the psychology students, the human services students, and it's just all around great experience if you wanted to get into that field. Again, due to technical difficulties, I can't share my screen. I don't know what's going on, but I can certainly email some information. Katie, I think you might have my brochures, but I'd be more than happy to send them over to you again.
Yeah, that would be great. I can share them with students too. That would be great. Absolutely. Thank you. And I will
apologize again for my technical difficulties here.
We have had several students over the past few years that have been at St. Anne's that have had really positive experiences and have been able to share that kind of with students and have really enjoyed it a lot. And I think it's a nice way to kind of test the waters too with some of the more clinical side of things. So that's been really helpful for students. I had a few there I think 2 over the summer, and every semester there's at least 1 or 2 students that have done.
And we have really, they've really made a difference for us too. A lot of great feedback from the students at Merrimack. And again, a lot of them, we have a couple that are actually working here with us now. They've come on as employees, and we love having them. And I can't even stress them up enough that there's plenty of room for growth, opportunity for advancement, for them. So it's a great experience.
Absolutely.
You get some great exposure too. I
agree. No, it's a great environment, I think, for a lot of learning, which I think is really great. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And then last but not least, we have Betsy Dalton from Windrush Farm here with us. All right. Oh, Betsy, we can't hear you for some reason. Let's see.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hear you.
Okay, good. My name's Betsy Dalton at Windrush Farm. We are a therapeutic riding program. We do equine assisted, that's horse assisted activities for children and adults with mental, physical, and emotional challenges. So differently abled clients. We do get clients from St. Anne's, Kathy, so thank you for many years. And we can do what we do because of our amazing volunteers and interns to make our programs possible. Being an intern here at Windrush is very different, and I think it's very hard to imagine or completely understand what it might be about. The biggest, most important role of our interns that come on the farm are to sidewalk, and that is to assist our clients during a riding lesson for an hour by walking next to them, walking next to the horse, and helping that class be safe and facilitating the lesson for the clients. There are many other roles that happen for interns, and we're very flexible. We customize our internships for each intern. We do remote internships, we do hybrid internships, and the internships can even involve helping with barn support and helping with the careful care of our horses. We're on a 200-acre farm. We have about 20 horses on the property, and horse experience is not required. We've had many interns over the years that came with absolutely no horse experience and left doing a great job with the horses because they wanted to learn that. Also, our interns tend to be surprised. You guys were talking about goals, which I think is very important. I do think there needs to be flexibility with this internship in that as you come into Windrush and you do start working, I think every intern says this was not exactly what I expected. I didn't know what I was going to learn. I learned so much more than I thought I was going to learn and had many experiences that I didn't realize I was going to have. So with that, because we are running out of time, Katie's going to launch a really great video for everyone to watch to give you an idea of what goes on here. So Katie, if you could cue that up and then we'll come back. Thank you.
Windrush was started in 1964. We were one of the first therapeutic riding centers in North America. We're all capable of more than we think, and it's the horses that really help us learn that about ourselves. They keep you learning, they keep you involved, and it's amazing to see our clients have those moments.
I've never been one to raise my hand. That was not me. And now that's who I am. Because of you, I am standing tall.
Sabrina has cerebral palsy, and she has tried traditional physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. She was a little stuck, so we gave this a shot, and she's made great progress with her balance, her strength, some of her range of motion. She just becomes alive on the horse. And every week that a child comes, the magic happens.
St. Anne's Home and School is a residential treatment center for children with emotional and behavioral problems. For them to be able to come here and do something that they've never done before and master it, it really helps them have confidence in other ways in their lives. They can learn a coping skill by being here, and they accomplish things that they never thought they could before. For my son to be able to ask a horse to do something, it just gives him some sort of inner strength or peacefulness that he really didn't have before. He's a horseman, you know, he's a rider.
When they get that comfort, just the rest of them starts to come out.
He's feeling a responsibility
toward the horses. If you start taking care of someone else, that's healing. It has been the most therapeutic thing that we have done. It's just been a wonderful place.
This is the kind of organization that really does have a tremendous impact on everyone who comes here.
You're providing an opportunity for someone to have a fundamental change in their life that will last with them. The backgrounds that our kids come from, they would never be able to experience this otherwise if it wasn't for donors. It's a wonderful social experience for the kids. It would be great to have this program around for a long time.
This is what we dream about, but the only question is, do I make you? Do I make you proud?
So with that, we've got to close. I know we're out of time and people are signing off. You can reach out to me with any questions. I bring potential interested interns in. I like to get resumes and I like to go through an interview and tour process and discuss what makes sense in your interests. And Katie knows a lot about it and can help you too. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so if people have questions, I have everyone's contact information so I can help them be in touch. But I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you hear from lots of our students for the spring and for the summer and for lots of semesters to come. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Have a good
Thank you. Have a good day.